Hello and welcome to another Not a Tutorial. My name is JK. I'm an artist from Sydney, Australia. Before we get started, if you feel like it, why not click that subscribe button, hit the ding button so you always know when I'm dropping a new one of these. I'm going to be doing one a day for the next week. So if you like them, then give us a thumbs up, or those bits and pieces. Anyway, today we're going to be doing a Not a Tutorial. And why do I call them Not a Tutorial? Well, because I am not a professional artist and I am not going to be able to teach you the fundamentals of art. Why? Because I don't know the fundamentals of art. All I know is I enjoy drawing. I can sort of do it. And if you want to draw along with me and maybe learn something accidentally along the way, then great. So Meerkat is what we're doing. I've drawn this a lot of times so far. Why? Because for some reason my stupid iPad screen record stops. So now I'm going to periodically have to keep checking that it's still recording as we're going. So I apologize for that. But yes, there's nothing more demoralizing than realizing after 40 minutes of drawing that you've just literally been talking to yourself for no reason. So Without further ado, let's draw a meerkat. All right, here he is, Mr. Meerkat. There he is, look. He's running away from a murder scene. There's his victim. But he's still very cute, and we are going to draw him. So, how do we start, class? That's right, little Johnny. We start with the simple shapes. And you might be looking at this going, what? I don't see simple shapes, JK. I see a meerkat mid-flight. Yeah, you do. But the shapes are there. I promise you. Let me show you. Let us insert the photo into the canvas. Where is the photo? Don't tell me I've deleted it now. Let's insert. This is one of the other meerkats that I drew for this exact same tutorial. Anyway, let's not go back over that. Okay. Here he is. Here's our meerkat. Let me show. Let's get a pen that you're going to be able to see. All right. So simple shapes, right? Here's his skull. You can't see that. Here's his skull. There's his head. A little round head. All right. That's his little noggin. Then you've got this front jaw here. Bottom jaw here. All right. Just looking at these as very basic shapes. It's pretty much a straight line down there. This shape of his body, all right, is basically that. Okay. Leg in there. Just this is all you got to do is look for these shapes as you're drawing. If you can emulate these shapes, you're halfway there. Obviously, if we were to enter this into a drawing competition of African animals, they'd go, look, it depicts quite nicely. There's obviously an animal in flight. But what is it? You'd say, well, that, guys, is a meerkat. And they go, all right, no problem. Come back next year. So we're going to... We're going to emulate that. Not emulate. We're going to use that groundwork to actually make something that hopefully looks like a meerkat. So let's do that. So just remember those shapes. Remember this. Let's start with the skull. Remember, was a circle. So let's get a circle in there for the skull. There we go. First simple shape done. Let's zoom in on his little head ski. And then remember that shape there. It's got a bit of a sweep to it. Flat little front nose. And his mouth is like that. We are going to change his mouth up because this is a cartoon. We want an expression on it now, so we're actually not going to have his mouth open at the front there like this one does. We're going to have ours flat. And he's going to have this worried expression. Let's get his little schnozzer on the end there. Let's get this eye patch shape thing here. We're going to give him a bit of a brow. All right, he's sort of got a bit of a brow there, so but we're going to accentuate that because this is a cartoon, remember. We're not going for realism here. Let's get his eye. We'll make his eye a bit bigger because I like the fact that he could be worried and running away from maybe a fierce lion in the savannah. Okay. Let's get the shape of his, goes quite deep down there and then straight back up for his span. Let's get the shape down here. Now, one thing I always say is draw through the ugly, all right? Because you can get very disheartened very quickly if your drawing is not turning out how you were hoping. But persevere, because mark my words that even if it looks like it does now, like some bizarre, weird, odd-looking, misfeatured creature, there's a lot of drawing to be done. There's a lot of colouring to be done. You know what? And there's no such thing as a wasted drawing, all right? Promise you of that. There is no such thing. Every time you draw, everything you draw, you are learning something. That thing inside your skull, right? Everyone's got one. It's called a brain. And every time you're drawing, even if you're drawing the same drawing you've drawn 70,000 times, because your iPad, let's check it, there we go, still recording, keeps messing up. You're learning something new every time, all right? Trust me, you are, I promise you. Even if your teacher at school told you that you're a dunce and you'll never make anything of your life. Mr. Scott, cartoons are art, thank you. Anyway, I'm not affected by it. I've completely lost track of what I'm saying now because I'm just jabbering. But yes, every time you draw, right, you are learning new stuff. So there's no such thing as a wasted drawing. It's only wasted if you give up. If you were to stop here and go, oh, this is rubbish, that's a wasted drawing, all right? So just keep going, persevere. Even if at the very end of your drawing, you look at your drawing and go, oh, that's awful. It doesn't look how I wanted it to look. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Move on. We're not trying to be bloody Leonardo da Vinci every time we draw something. We're not trying to make a masterpiece every time we draw something. All right? You want to, you know, there is some stat as to how many artworks the great artists, those guys like, you know, Leonardo, I almost said Leonardo DiCaprio. But he's done shit movies, you know. Everyone's created shit art. You know, but they've pushed through the bad stuff, and you know, you persevere. So all I'm trying to say in that utter bullshit is just keep drawing, all right? Just keep drawing every day, draw. Please do me that one favor. If you don't do anything else for me in your life, draw every single day, all right? Because I used to bitch and complain and whinge and, oh, my art never gets any better. You know why I didn't get it better? Because I would draw for like maybe tops. I'd get the bug for drawing again, and I'd draw for a couple of weeks, maybe a month if I was lucky. And then, but it wasn't like I wasn't drawing every day. I'd just sort of draw sporadically, and I'd have all these scraps of paper around the house, and I'd occasionally pick up a pencil and a piece of paper and just sort of draw while the TV was on, and I wasn't really focused on it, and my drawings looked rubbish, and I was like, so then I'd get disheartened, put down the pencil, put down the paper, and then I wouldn't pick up another piece of paper and pencil for, you know, months, and obviously I hadn't got any better. I was still in the same place I was. So the best thing I did for my art was to decide one day that I'm going to draw every single day for a minimum of 5 minutes. I'd seen this someone else, you know, it's not a new thing. People always talk about it. But I'd seen someone else talking about it. I went, you know what? I'm going to give that a go, and I'm going to do it for the rest of the year. And I'm going to make sure I draw something, at least 5 minutes every day. I'm going to draw something. Started an Instagram page so I could post every single day. It gave me, a reason to draw, because I'm like, I'll post whatever I draw every day. And yeah, here we are. This is almost 2 years later, and I have dead set literally drawn every single day something for the last 2 years, much to my wife's dismay, because she's become a widow to the iPad. But yeah, so anyway, so I'm jabbering on. Here we are with our sketch. So just trying to have a look at our Meerkat and my drawing. Obviously, as I said to you, we're not trying to make a carbon copy of these, all right? They're literally just to give us a reference so that we can try and draw our own Meerkat. I love this. I love the pose. Well, not pose. I love the action from this picture, which is why I chose this. And I thought I could make a nice, funny drawing. So there's our sketch. Let's move to the inking stage. I probably moved to the inking stage way too quickly. A lot of people spend a lot time, and again, this is why they're not tutorials, because I'm not saying this is how you should do it. A lot of people will obviously spend a lot of time on their sketch, getting it perfect and just exactly how they want it, so that when they come to the inking stage, they can just switch off their brain and just go over their lines and be done. Whereas I sort of make a lot of changes in the inking stage. I don't know why, it's just how I work. So if you find that it's the way you work as well, great. If not, if you want to spend more time on the sketch, also great. Do whatever works for you. Now, it is getting late in the evening, so I am a little bit tired, and I'm just trying to focus my brain, talk you through what I'm doing. And, it's all a bit much sometimes. But I do enjoy these. I hope you enjoy them. Please, in the comments below, let me know if you enjoy them. If you don't enjoy them, maybe let me know as well. I won't bother. Alright, let's get this guy. Now remember, he's a meerkat. He's got fluffy sort of... He does have a bit of fluff here, so you want to just try and also show that in your line work. Now let's put this sort of circular eye patch thing in. Let's put his eye in. See, I'm not keen on his face at the moment. His face is lovely. He's a beautiful creature. I don't like the way I've drawn it. But what do? We draw through the ugly. We draw through the ugly. Because it might not be perfect in how I envision it at the moment. In fact, I'm going to get rid of the reference, because sometimes if you're not trying to copy exactly an image, which we're not, the reference can hinder you sometimes as well as help. What do I mean that is, you can obsess too much over, oh well, that doesn't look right, oh that's not fitting, and you can spend hours just trying to get one specific part right, when, as I said, we're not trying to completely copy that image, and this isn't for a client or anything, this is purely for our own personal. Let's check and make sure we're still recording. Yes. That's going to get really annoying, I apologize, but the last thing I want to do is get to the end of another one of these and realize that we haven't recorded. So yes, but as I was saying, this is just for our own personal progress and learnings and teachings, so we can switch off the reference, switch off our brains, and just enjoy drawing something that hopefully will look like a meerkat. I've drawn this so many times, I've almost got a full family of meerkats ready to go. And they all look slightly different. Oops. Oh, what's going on? There we go. So this foot now, this looks weird. See, this looks weird because we've got this bit of the leg coming down here, and then this bit of the foot starts there. So let's, it's a cartoon, but we still need it to look like it makes sense to the eye. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll add another layer just so I can sort of draw through. So I can get the idea where that line's going, and then you can simply just erase this without worrying about erasing your other lines. Like so. These legs are probably a bit long. We could probably do with going up a tad. But again, that's annoying. Let's erase this again. Okay, and let's just join that with the one below. Tail. Now, every time I've drawn this meerkat, the tail has given me issues. And I'm sure this time will be no different. Don't know why. It's because this is this long, sweeping tail. For some reason, it's really hard to get right. Doesn't look too bad. Alright. There's our inked outline. Now, as I said, we're drawing through the ugly, everybody, because looking at this right now and going, I'm not happy with this, but you know what? This is the 4th or 5th time I've drawn this meerkat, and I've not been happy with any stage of any of the inking, any of them during the inking stage. So I know just to push through. So add a new layer. Let's make the inking layer the reference layer. Oh, hold on, merged down by accident. New layer, inking layer, reference layer. Click in that layer there. Let's get a sandy browny color. It's a little bit dark. Let's go a lighter color. We actually will bring back our reference. Okay, see what's going on. Oh, there's a big gap there. Also, I've noticed another issue. Hold on a second, everybody. Let's just go back to our black pen. And let's just thicken some of these lines up and close some of these holes so that we don't have that issue of the paint leaking onto the canvas. Right, let's go back again. Let's fill that back in. There we go, that's better. Let's fill that in, and we will bring back our reference image because that obviously helps us when we're doing our colouring. Obviously I've done this a few times now, so I've got a general gist of the colours that I want to go for. Missed a spot here, so let's fill that in. Let's fill that part in there. Okay, so let's bring back our... He's already looking a lot better once he's got the colour on. But there's still plenty more to go before we have our finished product. So let's go back to our reference image. Okay, still recording. Check. I really am sorry, but I've just got to do it because I will cry. Literally, a grown man, I will upload just audio of me crying for half an hour if it happens again. All right, so all I've done is added in a new layer, made that a clipping mask, and then I've basically held down on the screen, got my color wheel, so I've got that color again, and I'm just dragging right down into a darker area, and this is for our shadowing. Okay, So if you're new to the shadowing that I do, then I will just quickly tell you that this is definitely not the way you should shadow. Like everything to do with my not a tutorial. There is so many tutorials. I talk about them in every single one of my my videos. There is plenty of places that you can learn how to properly shadow. I just put shadows where I think they'll look good. I also use the shadowing as a way, especially with the animals, pretty much only with the animals, to help give it texture with the fur. So as you'll see, I'm making these sort of extra strokes like this, just to to build up that texture and that look of fur. And that's why I love this dry inking brush, because it just really gives you these nice sweeping sort of lines of fur. And we just chuck them in like this. And obviously you don't have to be perfect with this because it's an animal. The fur is, although it has sort of a direction that it goes in, it's also fur, so it's like, a bit messy. Let's just bring down the opacity of that layer so we can start seeing how that's looking, which is nice. Just finish off that bit there. Again, let's give him some texture around the face there. A few more lines in there and there. It's just a case of literally this is all just personal preference for me now. What I think looks good. Because if you look at this reference image, if we were going to go and do the shadowing that this meerkat has on him, basically the whole side we're looking at is in shadow, because you can see the light reflecting right across that line that's hitting his back, so the light's just hitting him bang on the other side. So if we wanted to copy that, we'd put this entire side in shadow and do that light on the edge. I will probably do the light on the edge that's running there just because it looks nice. But again, if you wanted to properly copy this image, then you would pretty much put this entire side into shadowing. Which I'm not going to do. We haven't coloured in the pads here, so let's just get a sort of reddy brown sort of colour, and let's get these done. Alright, let's move back to our inking layer, and let's keep going with this. So I need to thank everyone who watches these videos. Absolutely, I really appreciate that a lot of people comment and thank me for doing them. There's no need to thank me. Thank you for bothering to watch them. It's very much appreciated. I really do enjoy doing them, especially when they record, which it still is, thankfully. Hopefully I won't have to do that now in every single one of these. Just continually check to make sure it's recording. I think what had happened was I still had quite a lot of my old ones still on the iPad, and I think potentially I was just running out of space. So I deleted them all off. So anyway, let's do, because he's got this little grey colour on his back, so let's get a sort of grey white colour. I always do new layers just in case. Just so much easier just to delete. Opacity all the way down. Oh no, you know what? I bet the opacity's down on the brush. No. Yeah. Well, I don't like that colour then. It needs to be a bit more of a whiter colour. Let's try this. That opacity to me looks like it's... Maybe it's not. I don't know. It just looks weird. Anyway, we'll keep going. I don't mind this colour, so we won't complain. We'll just keep drawing. So again with these, it's just follow the grain, because that his hair does, follow that direction. So but don't be too worried about, uniformity. I've been reading the dictionary, you may have realised. It's a nice colour, actually. I think you wouldn't have seen this because it didn't record, but in my last video, it took me forever to get this colour right. And I've just managed to flukily get the colour I need straight off the bat. And I did say in my last video, sometimes this just works and sometimes you spend ages trying to find the right colour. Well, there we go. Someone's looking down at me going, all right, give him a break. He's drawn this bloody thing 70,000 times. Let him find the right colour. Okay, so let's do another new layer on top of that one. See these little brown spots on his, or little, not spots, but you know what I mean, on his back. We'll chuck those in now. So again, let's just drop the size of these down, and again, oh, it's weird. Again, we're not going to be too precious about these. We're just going to, chuck them in. Chuck them down his back. All the way down his back, and sort of run towards the tail. Because as I said, and I say it all the time, we're not trying to make a photorealistic image of a meerkat. We are just trying to draw a cartoon meerkat so that people go, oh yeah, there's a meerkat. And you go, yeah, it bloody is, isn't it? Look what I did, I drew a meerkat. Because if you were, say you were doing, which I am actually at the moment, doing a illustration for a kid's book, and it's got animals in it, and someone says, I want a meerkat running, they're not going to send you a photo of that meerkat and say, I want that meerkat running. They're just going to say, draw me a meerkat running. And you go, yeah, no worries, I can do that. And then you present this to them and they go, oh my God, I love it. It's great. It's so good. And you go, thank you. Now pay me lots of money. So I'm jibber-jabbering now, I apologise. Let's chuck his dark bit of his tail here, like that. We're going to get a much darker colour again, because it gets darker towards the top. Let's layer that up. Now this part of the tail, I think probably because of the light, is more of an orangey. I need to do a new layer for this. It's more an orangey colour. You can get your colour picker and run it across your reference image, but this doesn't really work for this image purely because he is in that shade. The light isn't that great. So I would advise for something like this, we probably will not be doing that. We'll just see if we can try and find a nice colour that works well. It's probably a bit too orange, really. We'll drop the opacity down. And we'll reverse back up that tail. That's all right. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It's not perfect, but we're not looking for perfection, are we? No, we're not. So there we go. We're getting there. Let's get rid of our sketch. And a random line here. It always annoys me when this happens because you've got to work out. Oh no, did it first time. You usually got to take forever to work out which layer that's on. I just want to put a little bit more shadowing in, especially around this tail. Let's get a nice big bit of shadow there. Like so. A bit more around here. Make this a bit thicker and maybe join that. Again, all about preference. Step away from it, zoom out, have a bit of a look, and put more shadowing here. Front of his schnozzer. I didn't want any on the bottom of the teeth, just at the top. Sometimes you look at it and you go, that needs to, those actually need to come down, not go up, those bits of fur. What I will do is I'll show you this little bit of light, the rim, sort of a rim light almost. if you wanted to do that, you can literally go probably a white, because it's so bright. You could just go really just right on the edge, just an actual white. You'll see a lot of times people will use just a bright white to emulate light bouncing, as opposed to like a yellow. It's got a yellow tinge to it, that light, but sometimes all you need is a bit of white bouncing off the top. Let's give him some floor. Let's just go black. Let's go a circle underneath him, like that. Let's reference that. And drop in that. And then pull the opacity down. There he is, Mr. Meerkat. Alright. Hope you enjoyed that. I hope it actually recorded. Yeah, still recording. Sensational. Alright. Well, as I said, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you drew along. If you did draw along, please tag me in any images you upload. I'll share them on my social media and give you a shout out, because I love to see people drawing these. So just at me, at JK's Doodles, at JK Doodles _daily. Yeah, if you want me to draw anything, if there's something you'd love to see drawn, if you've seen something I've drawn before and you'd love to know how to draw it, then just hit me up in the comments or on Instagram or wherever. I'm going to be doing a lot of these videos next week. I'm going to try and do one a day, so I'm going to need some ideas. Hope you have a fantastic day or night or whatever it is, wherever you're listening to. I will catch you next time.